The night was silent in the Arctic, except for the wind howling across the frozen wasteland. For thousands of years, the ice had slept, untouched by time. But deep beneath it, something blinked, a small blue light inside a forgotten machine. A soft beep echoed in the dark metal chamber. Breaking a silence that had lasted 30,000 years on in space, a satellite picked up the strange pulse. It wasn't just a signal, it was a pattern. A message thousands of miles away. In a high-security lab in Geneva, Dr. Lena Reeves stared at the satellite data on her screen. This can't be natural, she whispered. What is it? Asked her assistant Mark. It's artificial. Look at the repetition. It's a language. Something or someone is trying to talk to us. Mark frowned. From where? Lena paused. The signal is coming from under the Arctic ice, from 4,000 meters below the surface. Meanwhile, far from the lab, in a quiet desert village in Pakistan, 15-year-old Keon sat outside his small house, looking at the stars. The sky, that was clear, and the moon shone brightly. He loved the silence of the night, but tonight, something was different. He tilted his head. A sound, a low humming, soft, deep, almost like a heartbeat. It wasn't coming from anywhere around him, it was inside his head. He looked around. Abba, Uma, he called out. No one answered. His parents were asleep. He walked a few steps away from the house. The hum grew louder. Kian placed his hand on the ground. The soil was warm. In the middle of the cold desert night, the earth should have been cool, but here, it pulsed with heat. Suddenly, a flash of light came from the old well at the edge of the village. Just a second, a faint blue glow. What was that? He whispered. Next morning, Kian tried to tell his teacher at school. I think something is glowing under the village, he said quietly. His classmates laughed. You've been watching too many cartoons, one said, but his teacher frowned. What kind of glow? Blue, like the stars. And there's a hum. I can feel it. She looked at him strangely, then quickly changed the topic. But that night, Kian noticed a black van parked near the village mosque. It had no number plate. Back in Geneva, Dr. Lena presented her findings to a secret committee. It's a beacon, she said. Not natural, not from Earth. And it started last night. Are you saying it's alien? Asked General Cole, head of the Global Security Task Force. I'm saying it's older than anything human. And yes, I believe it's not from here. Location: under the Arctic ice, but that's not the only signal. A second one has started from a desert in South Asia. A much fainter echo, like a child answering a parent. The room went silent. Cole leaned forward. Prepare a team. We're going to both locations. That night, Kian couldn't sleep. The hum was stronger now. He heard whispers in a language he didn't understand. He walked to the old well again. It wasn't glowing anymore, but when he stood near it, the whispers grew louder. Suddenly he felt dizzy and fell to his knees. A sharp image flashed in his mind, a massive metal ship, flying through stars, then crashing into ice. Creatures with tall bodies and dark eyes shouted. A round crystal was removed from the ship and hidden. He woke up on the ground, sweating. The next morning, strange men arrived in the village. They wore black uniforms and dark glasses. One of them approached Kian. You're the boy who saw the light? The man asked. Kian hesitated, then nodded. We need to speak with you, the man said. His parents refused, but later that night, Lena arrived with her team. She spoke gently and listened to Kian's story. Do you know why you're hearing the hum? She asked. No, he said. You're not alone. We believe something inside you is responding to an ancient signal. He looked confused. Why me? We don't know yet, but we need your help. They took him to a base set up outside the village. Lena showed him a small device recovered from under the Arctic ice, a round metallic sphere with blue lights. As soon as Kian entered the room, the sphere lit up. Everyone froze. It recognizes him, Lena whispered. He's the key. Kian stared at the object. I've seen this before. In my dream, it was inside the ship. What ship? Asked General Cole. The one that crashed in the ice. Cole and Lena exchanged worried looks. That night, Kian woke up in the camp. The hum in his head was now clear, like a voice speaking. He didn't understand the words, but he felt something. Sadness. A long wait. A call for help. Outside, the ground shook. Everyone ran out of their tents. From the direction of the village, a blue beam shot into the sky. A hidden chamber under the desert had opened. What is happening? Cole shouted. Lena turned pale. The ship, it's not just in the Arctic. There's a second piece here. And now it's waking up. Suddenly a loud sound came from above. A boom, then a bright light in the sky. A small object fell from space, landing near the village with a thundering crash. Soldiers ran toward it. From the smoke a shape emerged, tall, thin, wearing armor. It was not human. The alien stepped forward. Calm and silent. Its eyes glowed blue. It looked at Kian and spoke in a strange, soft language. Kian didn't understand, but the meaning filled his mind. We have returned. After 30,000 years, we want what is ours. The air was thick with smoke. Soldiers surrounded the strange object that had crashed into the desert just minutes ago. Kian stood frozen, staring at the creature that had walked out of the glowing pod. It was tall, over 7 feet, with silver armor covering its body. Its skin was pale gray, and its eyes glowed soft blue. It held no weapon, but the soldiers still raised their guns. "Stand down," General Cole shouted. "Do not fire." The alien looked around slowly. Then it stepped toward Keon. Lena stepped in front of the boy. "Wait, what do you want?" she asked. The alien spoke in its strange language again. The sounds were soft, almost musical. Keon blinked. I can hear it in my head again." "What is it saying?" Lena asked, her voice shaking. Keon listened carefully. "It says, 'The time has come. The child is awake. The memory is not lost.'" Lena looked at the alien, shocked. "What do you mean by child?" But the alien didn't answer her. It placed its hand on Keon's forehead. Keon saw everything. A flash of stars, a ship flying fast, a war between alien races, then the crash. A great silver ship falling into the ice, breaking apart. One half buried in the Arctic, the other sent far, hidden in the desert. Before the ship broke, a round crystal was removed and sealed underground. Keon stepped back, gasping. "I saw it, all of it. The ship, the war. They were running from something." That night, Lena met with General Cole in private. "We're dealing with a civilization that left something powerful behind," she said. "Something they want back." "Do you believe the boy is part of it?" Cole asked. "I don't know how, but yes. The ship responds to him. The alien responds to him. It's like he's one of them." Cole frowned. "Then he's a threat." "No, he's the bridge between us. We need him." Cole didn't look convinced. In the desert camp, the alien, now called Zero, stayed close to Keon. It didn't speak often, but when it did, Keon understood it somehow. "Why are you here?" Keon asked. Zero looked at the stars. "We waited, in deep sleep. When the signal was heard, we returned. But we did not expect this." "Did not expect what?" "Your world has changed, grown, and now the ship is not safe anymore. If the wrong ones take it, it will destroy everything." Keon looked down. "Is it a weapon?" "No," Zero said. "It is a source of power, of memory, of creation. But in the wrong hands, it becomes death." 2 days later, news came in from the Arctic. Another ship, much bigger than Zero's pod, had entered Earth's orbit. It was not friendly. Cole stormed into Lena's lab. "We have another visitor, and this one isn't here to talk." "What do you mean?" "We picked up a message, a warning. It said, 'We are coming for what is ours. Do not stand in the way.'" Lena turned pale. "There are more of them." "No," Zero said, stepping into the room. "They are not like me. They are from the other side, the ones who hunted us. They believe the ship belongs to them." That night, Keon sat alone, thinking. His head was full of voices, images. He saw battles in space, creatures he couldn't describe, and machines that changed the very shape of planets. But there was one thing he saw over and over: the crystal glowing, pulsing, and the war to control it. Suddenly, a loud bang shook the camp. Sirens blared. Attack drones. A soldier shouted. Keon ran outside. Dark flying machines buzzed in the sky, shooting red beams. Soldiers fired back. One drone hit the communication tower. "Get the boy out of here," Cole ordered. Zero appeared, blocking a beam with a strange blue shield from his arm. "They are here for him." "Why?" Keon shouted. "Because you can find it. The core, you are the key." In the middle of the battle, Keon ran to the glowing spot near the old well. He felt drawn to it. The ground cracked open as he approached. A platform rose slowly, covered in symbols. At its center was a circular hole, shaped exactly like the crystal Lena had shown him. Lena and Zero arrived, out of breath. "It's activating," she said. Keon stepped onto the platform. It lit up beneath his feet. Then he collapsed. In his mind, Keon was no longer in the desert. He floated in space. He saw Zero's race, peaceful and wise. They had built the core to store knowledge, a perfect memory, but others wanted it for power. The war destroyed everything. In a final effort, the core was split, hidden, and protected. And now, it called to him, the only living being who could unlock it. He opened his eyes. "We have to find the Arctic ship," he whispered. "Before they do." Back at the base, Cole was furious. "I don't care if that alien saved him. This is Earth. We decide what happens here." Lena stood firm. "Then you'll destroy us all. That boy is our only chance. If we stop him, they'll burn this planet to the ground." Cole didn't answer. Instead, he looked at his assistant and nodded. "Prepare the strike team. We're going to the Arctic." In the dark sky above Earth, another alien ship opened its eyes. Inside, a creature with red skin and burning yellow eyes stared at the blue planet. It spoke with rage. "After 30,000 years, the time has come. We will take what is ours." The icy wind screamed across the Arctic wasteland. Snow flew like dust in a storm. But far beneath the frozen ground, something ancient stirred, a heartbeat of light. Pulsing slowly in the dark, inside a hidden underground base, a team of scientists and soldiers stood around a large frozen wall of ice. "There it is," whispered Dr. Reed, the Arctic field commander. "We've found it." Behind the wall was a massive shape, metallic, broken, and glowing faint blue. Back in the desert, Keon stood near the glowing platform, weak but awake. Lena placed her hand on his shoulder. "You're sure this is the next step?" she asked. Keon nodded. "The other half is under the Arctic. That's where the core was split. I need to go. You're just a boy. I'm the only one." Listens to Zero standing beside them, looked at the sky. We don't have much time. The others are coming. General Cole appeared, eyes hard. We're sending a jet. You'll be there in 4 hours. Keon looked at Lena. Will you come with me? She nodded every step. 4 hours later, the jet sliced through freezing skies. Keon stared out the window as endless white stretched below them. I've never seen snow, he said softly. You'll see more than that, Lena replied. When they landed, soldiers rushed them into the ice base. The cold bit through their clothes, but Keon barely noticed the hum inside him had returned, stronger than ever. It's close, he whispered. The ice wall had been partially melted. Behind it, part of the ancient alien ship was visible, silver metal with glowing lines and strange symbols. It was clearly not made by humans. That's Keon approached. The lights inside the ship flickered and came alive. Open it, General Cole ordered. One of the soldiers pressed a scanner against the ship. Nothing happened. Keon stepped forward and placed his hand on the metal dot. Suddenly, the ship groaned. A massive door slid open with a hiss, revealing a long tunnel lined with glowing blue lights. Everyone froze. Keon stepped in. The inside of the ship felt warm, alive. The air was thick, but not dangerous. The walls pulsed softly, like they were breathing. This place, it's waiting, Keon said. Zero followed behind. This is the heart of our memory. It has not spoken in 30,000 years. Keon walked toward a round chamber in the center. Inside, a floating crystal, half a sphere, hovered silently. The core, Lena whispered. No, Zero said. Only half, the other half still sleeps. Suddenly, a sharp alarm blared through the human base. An officer ran in, panicked. We have incoming. Unidentified craft just broke through the atmosphere. Lena looked at Zero. It's them, he said. Outside. Clouds spun violently as a dark ship, black and red, shaped like a dagger, descended from the sky. The ice cracked beneath its power. It landed hard, steam rising from its legs. Its door opened with a loud screech, and out stepped a tall creature with deep red skin and golden armor. Its eyes glowed bright yellow. It looked at the human base and smiled. Inside the ship, Keon placed his hand on the half-core. A beam of light shot out, hitting him in the chest. He didn't move. Keon, Lena shouted, but Keon's mind had left his body. He was floating again, watching a memory from long ago. 2 alien races, one wise and peaceful, Zero's kind, the other warlike and greedy. The newcomers, they fought for control of the core. The peaceful race split the core in two and fled, hiding the halves on separate worlds. Earth was never meant to be involved, but now the war had returned. Keon opened his eyes. They'll kill everyone, he said, unless we stop them. Back outside, the red-skinned leader marched through the snow toward the human base. Soldiers pointed guns, but he didn't stop. Cole ordered, fire. Bullets flew. The alien raised one hand. A pulse of energy exploded from his palm, sending the soldiers flying backward like paper. He spoke one word. Where is it? Cole stood tall. You'll never get it. The alien narrowed his eyes. Then you'll burn. He raised his arm again, but suddenly, a second force hit the ground. Zero landed in front of the base, between the red alien and the humans. No more, he said. The two locked eyes. Back in the chamber, Keon felt something calling him. He touched the half-core again. A glowing map appeared in the air. Stars, planets, and a red mark far away. Lena gasped. That's the location of the second half. Keon looked confused. But it's not on Earth. No, Zero's voice echoed in his mind. It was moved, hidden deeper. You must find it. The lights inside the ship dimmed. Suddenly, explosions rocked the walls. The red alien had begun his attack. Cole ran into the chamber. We're out of time. We have to evacuate. No, Keon said. We're taking the core. If they get it, it's over. Lena looked at him. But how? Keon pointed at the glowing platform beneath the core. It's a lifeboat, a part of the ship. Lena hesitated, then nodded. Let's move. They pulled the half-core into the center of the platform. Keon, Lena, and 2 soldiers stepped onto it. The ship recognized him. Lights flashed. The platform rose, then shot through a hidden tunnel straight up through the ice. Outside, the red alien turned, watching the beam shoot into the sky. He roared with rage, but it was too late. Keon was gone. Inside the lifeboat, Keon held the half-core. We have to find the other part, he said. Lena looked at him, scared but calm. Where do we go? Keon looked out the window. To the stars. The stars stretched endlessly in every direction. Darkness, silence, cold beauty. For the first time in his life, Keon was no longer on Earth. The alien lifeboat hummed softly as it glided through space. Inside, Keon sat near the glowing half-core. It pulsed with soft blue light, matching the rhythm of his heartbeat. Lena sat beside him, her eyes wide with wonder and fear. One soldier checked the controls, confused and overwhelmed. The other sat silently, watching Keon. The ship, it flies itself, Lena said quietly. It's like it knows where to go. Keon nodded. It does. The core is showing it. They didn't need a pilot. The ship was alive. Back on Earth, chaos had broken out in the Arctic. The red-skinned alien General Vorex paced through the ruins of the ice base. His armored troops searched every inch, but the lifeboat was gone. They escaped, his second-in-command reported. With the core, Vorex clenched his fist. They have the boy. We will find them. No, Vorex growled. We will follow them. He turned to a large triangular ship hovering above the ice. Prepare the hunter vessel. Set course. For the signal, I want the core and the child alive. In space, Keon stood at the edge of the window, staring into the vastness. He felt something stir inside him. Not fear, but connection. I've been here before, he whispered. Lena looked up. What do you mean in my dreams? The stars, the war, the second core. I think I was meant to return. You sound like it's your destiny, Lena said with a small smile. Keon stayed silent. Hours passed. The lifeboat slowed as it approached a glowing blue planet surrounded by rings of dust and ice. This is it, the soldier said, watching the readings. The ship slowing down. We're close. Keon nodded. The core is here. As they entered the atmosphere, the lifeboat passed through a thick cloud layer. Below was a strange, beautiful land. Tall silver mountains, glowing rivers, and giant trees that sparkled like crystals. Lena stared in awe. This isn't Earth. This is a lost world. The ship hovered over a dark valley, then gently landed near a waterfall that glowed in the moonlight. As the door opened, Keon stepped out first, and then he felt it. A second hum, not from the core he carried, but from something nearby. Keon moved slowly toward a large stone structure built into the side of a hill. It looked like a temple, ancient and silent. The moment he touched the stone wall, the door slid open. Lena and the soldiers followed. Inside, the air felt heavy. The walls were covered in glowing symbols. At the center of the chamber was another floating crystal, the second half of the core. Keon stepped closer, but before he could reach it, a voice echoed through the chamber. Stop. Everyone turned. From the shadows, a figure stepped forward, tall, with silver skin and calm blue eyes. It looked like Zero but older. I am Sarian, the figure said, guardian of the core. Lena raised her hands. We're not here to fight. We came to protect it. Sarian looked at Keon and him. He's the one who unlocked the first half, Lena said. It responds to him. Sarian looked deep into Keon's eyes. I know, he said softly, because part of him is not human. Everyone was silent. What do you mean, Keon? Asked. Sarian stepped closer. You are not fully of Earth. Long ago, before the war, one of our kind stayed behind. He lived among your people, loved, raised a family. Keon's voice shook. Are you saying I'm one of you? Not completely, but your blood carries our memory. That's why you hear the signal. That's why the core listens. Lena's eyes widened. He's a hybrid. Sarian nodded. And he is the only one who can awaken the full core. But if he does, others will come. They're already coming, Keon said. The red-skinned ones. Sarian's face darkened. Then we must not waste time. Sarian led them to a circular room deep inside the temple. At the center was a pedestal made of crystal. Place both halves here, he instructed. Keon carefully placed the half-core he carried next to the second one. As they touched, a bright flash filled the room. The crystals fused, forming a perfect sphere that floated above the pedestal. The walls shook. A soft tone echoed outward, a signal pulsing into space. Sary stepped back. It has begun. Keon turned to him. What has the awakening? Back in space, Vorex's hunter vessel caught the signal. The location of the second core was revealed. There, he pointed. They've made their move. A soldier looked nervous. Sir, are we ready to face the Guardian? Vorex smiled. I don't care how many fall. The core will be mine. Back in the temple, Sarian explained the truth. The core is not just a machine. It is a memory of the universe, knowledge, power, creation. It was meant to guide peace. But when war came, it was split to protect it. Keon looked at it glowing in front of him. What happens if Vorex gets it? Sarian's face turned. Grim. Then every planet he touches will burn. A loud sound cut through the chamber. An alarm. Sarian's eyes narrowed. They're here. The temple lights dimmed. Outside, the ground trembled. The sky above turned red as Vorex's warship descended. Lena grabbed Keon's hand. We have to go. No, Sarian said. This is where we stand. Outside the temple, Vorex landed with his army of soldiers in black and red armor. He stepped forward alone. He shouted, I have waited for this moment. The core, the boy. Hand him over. Sarian stepped into the light. You will not take it. You don't have the strength to stop me, Vorex growled. No, Sarian replied, but he does. He stepped aside. Keon stood in the doorway, the glowing full core floating beside him. The lights from the core formed a shield of energy around him. He didn't look afraid. He looked ready. A storm of red clouds swirled above the alien temple. Vorex's warship hovered like a shadow, casting darkness across the glowing valley. The air was heavy, not just with fear, but with energy. Inside the temple, the full core floated in silence. It pulsed gently, like a sleeping heart about to wake. Keon stood before it, the light from the core dancing across his face. Lena stood behind him, her hand on his shoulder. You don't have to do this, she said softly. I already did, Keon replied. Outside, Vorex waited with his army. He raised one hand. Bring it down. The first attack came like a thunderstrike. Explosions rocked the mountains. Fire and smoke filled the sky. The temple walls shook. Sarian raised his arm, creating a protective shield of energy around the chamber. They will try to break through. Lena looked at him. Can your shield hold? Sarian didn't answer. Kian stepped closer to the core. It floated above the crystal pedestal, spinning slowly, humming louder now. It's calling me again, he whispered. The moment he touched it, his body lit up not with fire, but with memory. He saw cities that floated above oceans, starships shaped like birds, whole galaxies at peace. And then he saw the fall war, destruction, screams, and betrayal. The memory of an entire universe filled his mind. Kian gasped and stepped back. I saw everything, Sarian nodded. You carried the past now. Kian looked at his hands. I also saw something else. Earth. Lena stepped closer. What about it? The core is connected to Earth's magnetic field. It's drawing energy from the planet, and it's waking up fast. If it's disturbed again. He didn't finish. Sarion's eyes darkened. Then Earth will suffer, perhaps all of humanity. Outside, Vorax marched forward, his golden armor glowing under the red sky. He spoke to his soldiers. I don't want prisoners, I want the core. He pointed at the temple. Begin the ground strike. Dozens of alien machines rolled forward, firing red beams at the temple's shield. The ground cracked. Smoke rose. The ancient stones groaned. Inside, the lights flickered. Lena looked at Sarian. We have to move the core. We can't defend this place forever. It's not just the core, Sarian said. This temple is part of it. If the core leaves too soon, it will become unstable. Kion turned to him. Then what do we do? Sarian looked at him seriously. We finish the activation. Kion stepped forward again and raised both hands toward the core. The room darkened. Then light exploded. Images appeared all around them. Holograms of stars, alien writings, forgotten technology. The entire temple lit up like a data stream. The core was opening. Sarian moved quickly, placing his hand on a console nearby. We must stabilize it. If it overloads, the energy could destroy this planet, and yours. Lena moved to help. What do I do? Translate. The core speaks in ancient code. Only humans with his bloodline and knowledge from our age can unlock it. Kion closed his eyes. He wasn't just seeing the past now, he was feeling it, far away. On Earth, strange things began to happen. In New York, compasses spun wildly. In Tokyo, electronic systems blinked off. In Cairo, birds flew in strange patterns, confused by the magnetic shifts. Scientists across the globe tried to understand the sudden global disturbance done in Geneva. Dr. Lena's lab received an alert. Planetary magnetic field unstable. Source unknown. Back in the temple, the core pulsed faster. Sarian looked at Kian. It's too fast. We need more time. We don't have it, Lena said. They've broken the outer wall. Boom. The temple shook violently. A huge crack appeared in the stone. Soldiers entered, firing red beams. One hit the wall near Kian. Sarian raised his hands, blasting the intruders with a wave of blue light. They want the core. They don't care who dies. More enemy troops flooded in. Lena ducked behind a pillar. We can't hold them. Kian placed both hands on the core. It's time. The core began to rise. The air vibrated. Everything around them floated slightly, as if gravity was breaking apart. A column of light shot into the sky, cutting through clouds. Even Vorax had to pause. What is this? Back on Earth, the signal from the core grew stronger. Satellites picked it up, an alien pattern, now repeating across every frequency. People stared at their phones, TVs and computers. All showed the same glowing shape, the core, all across Earth. Humanity was now watching inside the temple. Kian was no longer standing, he was floating, eyes glowing blue. Memories rushed through him, voices of thousands, thoughts of worlds, secrets of time. He looked at Lena. I understand now. The core. It's alive. What does it want? She asked. To survive, to be understood, to return home. Sarian stepped beside them, but its awakening has also made it vulnerable. Vorax knows this. Suddenly, Vorax himself entered the chamber, protected by an energy shield. His eyes locked onto Kian. You opened it, he said. Now give it to me. Kian floated downward slowly, calm and unafraid. You'll destroy everything, Vorax laughed. No, I'll rebuild it my way. He raised his weapon. But before he could fire, the core spun rapidly and sent out a shock wave. Everyone fell back, even Vorax. A voice echoed through the chamber, deep, powerful and ancient. Enough. Sarian looked at the core. It speaks. The core's light focused on Kian. You are chosen, the voice said. You must decide who shall carry the memory, and who shall face the end. Kian breathed slowly. Vorax rose to his feet. You think he can stop me? The core responded. You were offered peace, and chose fire. Vorax roared and charged forward. Kian lifted one hand. The core lit up. A beam struck Vorax, lifting him into the air. His armor cracked, his weapon shattered. He screamed and vanished in a flash of white light. The temple fell silent. The war had stopped. Sarian lowered his head. It is done. Lena ran to Kian, who fell into her arms, weak but alive. The core has chosen. She whispered. Kian looked at the stars. Above, it's not over, he said. There's more, something else. The core is still afraid. The temple was quiet now. Kian sat on the cold floor, breathing slowly. The glow of the core had dimmed to a soft pulse, like a resting heart. Lena placed a warm blanket around his shoulders. "You did it," she said. "You stopped him." "No," Kian whispered, "something else is coming." Sarion, standing at the entrance, turned. "The core has seen beyond what we understand. It fears something greater." Kian nodded. "I saw it, just for a second, before Vorex vanished. A shadow, not a person, a force, hiding behind stars." Sarion looked serious. The true enemy. Meanwhile, back on Earth, strange things were happening. Satellites began shutting down one by one. Communication signals were blocked. Power grids in major cities flickered. The northern lights became unusually bright and appeared over cities. Far from the poles. World leaders panicked. In underground control rooms, generals whispered a single question. "Is this the core's doing?" In Geneva, a scientist stared at his screen. The magnetic fields of Earth were stabilizing, but something foreign was pressing against them. Not from the core's signal. From outside. Something watching. Waiting. Back on the alien planet, Lena walked with Sarion through the glowing gardens near the temple ruins. Strange birds flew overhead. Rivers shimmered under the alien moon. "We stopped the war," she said, "but not the danger." Sarion nodded. "Every great power creates ripples." Someone, or something, felt the core awaken. "Do you think they're coming?" "They're already here." Inside the temple, Kian stood alone before the core. It pulsed gently. "You're not afraid anymore," he whispered. A soft voice echoed in his head. "I am calm, but I am not safe." "What do you mean?" The core pulsed again. "Trust is broken. One among you is not who they claim to be." Kian frowned. But the core fell silent. Later that night, Lena gathered the group's Kian, 2 soldiers, a pilot from the lifeboat. "We have a decision to make," she said. "Do we hide the core again, or take it back to Earth?" Sarion replied first. "If you leave it here, others will come to steal it. This place is no longer safe." "But if we take it to Earth," one soldier said, "we put the whole planet at risk." Kian stood slowly. "It doesn't matter. The real threat won't. Where the core belongs to all life, not just one planet." Lena nodded. "Then we protect it together." The group agreed. The decision was made. The next morning, they began preparing the ship. Sarion gave Kian a silver band, a kind of bracelet glowing with symbols. "What is it?" Kian asked. "A key. It links you to the core. If something happens to you, the core will shut down automatically." Kian placed it on his wrist. It shrank slightly, fitting him perfectly, as they began to load the core onto the lifeboat. One of the soldiers, a tall man named Arlen, stepped aside, pretending to check his weapon, but his eyes glowed faint. "Read for a moment." He touched a small device hidden under his sleeve and whispered, "They're moving. Prepare the gate." Hours later, the lifeboat flew silently through space once again, heading toward Earth. Kian sat near the core. Lena rested beside him. Sarion meditated in the corner, his eyes closed, but something felt wrong. Kian felt it in his chest, a vibration that didn't match the core. He looked up. Arlen was watching him. Suddenly, the ship's lights turned red. The pilot screamed. "Something's pulling us." Sarion stood. "It's a gravitational gate. Artificial. Someone's dragging us out, of course." Lena grabbed the controls. "Where are we going?" Kian looked at Arlen and saw the red glow in his eyes. Kian whispered. Arlen smiled. A flash of light, and the ship vanished into a fold in space. When the light cleared, they were no longer in open space. The ship floated inside a giant chamber, metallic, cold and endless. Outside the window was a massive station orbiting a dead star. Black metal, sharp edges, no signs of life. "What is this place?" Lena asked. Arlen finally spoke. "You're in the hollow sector, a prison of the old universe." Sarion's eyes narrowed. "You're one of them. You're from the Fallen." Arlen nodded. "My real name is Jiro. I was planted long ago, in case the core ever awakened again." He looked at Kian. "And now, you've made it easy for us." Kian stepped forward. "You won't get the core. I already have." Jiro pressed a button. The walls of the ship opened. Robotic arms reached for the core. Sarion leapt forward, blocking them with a wave of blue energy. "You will not take it." Jiro pulled out a plasma blade. "Then you will die with it." A battle began inside the ship. Lena dragged Kian behind the command console. "Can you shut down the core?" she asked. Kian held up his wrist. The silver band was glowing. "I can try." Sarion fought with power and speed, but Jiro was strong, enhanced by alien tech. The ship shook as energy blasts hit the walls. Kian closed his eyes and touched the core. "Listen to me," he whispered. "I'm still here. You're still safe." The core began to glow brighter. The robotic arms froze. Jiro screamed. "No." Sarion struck him hard, sending him crashing into the wall. The core pulsed once, then blasted energy in all directions. The station outside shattered. The chamber cracked. Xiro vanished in the explosion of light. Everything went still. The lifeboat, damaged but intact, floated free in space again. Inside, Lena checked the systems. "Earth is still 3 hours away." Kian looked out at the stars. "They'll keep coming, won't they?" Sarion nodded. "Yes, the core has been awakened, and the shadows will keep chasing its light." As the stars moved past them, the core floated silently at Kian's side, peaceful for now. The ship finally entered Earth's orbit, damaged, scorched, and scarred but alive. Kian, Lena, and Sarian stood silently as the planet filled the window. Blue oceans, green continents, white clouds. Home, but Kian didn't feel peace. He felt watched. Behind Earth's beauty, something darker waited. 2 hours later, the ship descended toward a restricted military zone in Nevada. Dozens of jets escorted them through the skies. Global leaders had already been alerted. Every government wanted answers the moment they landed. Soldiers surrounded the ship. Kian stepped out first, the glowing core floating behind him. Cameras zoomed in from every angle. Scientists whispered. Generals reached for weapons. Sarian raised a hand. Lower your guns. You're pointing them at your own future. The core pulsed once. All electronics within 100 meters shut off. Power gone. Silence. Then it spoke. Only inside Kian's mind. Choose wisely. The next war may not use weapons but fear. They were taken to a secure underground facility beneath the desert. Deep inside a steel meeting hall, top officials, scientists, and military leaders from every major nation waited. A massive screen showed Earth's cities, most still confused, shaken by the signal. Riots had broken out in some places. In others, strange cults were already forming, worshipping the light. Lena spoke first. You're all afraid of what you don't understand, but the core is not our enemy. A general stood. Then why is it interfering with our satellites, our oceans, our skies? Sarian replied, because you're treating it like a weapon. It is not. Kian looked around. The core is alive. It holds the memory of the universe. But it's scared, and now you've made it feel hunted. Hours passed. More nations demanded the core be turned over. Some wanted to destroy it. Others wanted to control it. The core said nothing, but Kian felt it growing restless. That night, he sat alone, in his quarters, staring at the stars through bulletproof glass. I brought you here, he whispered, but maybe Earth wasn't ready. A voice replied softly in his mind. Not ready, but learning you must lead. The next morning, disaster struck. An explosion rocked the facility. Emergency sirens howled. Lena ran through the halls. What happened? A soldier shouted. A faction broke in. Masked group. They took a core shard. Kian froze. A shard. Sarian appeared, eyes wide. When we arrived, the core shed a piece. It was small, but powerful. Now it was gone. Security footage showed a black-clad team fleeing in a stealth aircraft. Kian stared at the screen. They knew exactly what to take. Within hours, the world changed again. A leaked video spread online showing a glowing crystal being used to power a strange weapon in an underground lab. The voice in the video said, the aliens brought power. We'll use it for control. Earth belongs to Earth. They called themselves the Earth Purity Front, a secret group made of former soldiers, rogue scientists, and extremists. They believed Earth must protect itself by mastering alien tech and destroying anyone who stood in the way. Lena looked horrified. They just turned a piece of the core into a weapon. Sarian whispered, the core is connected. If they damage it, they damage all of it. Kian's head began to ache. Visions blurred his eyes. Cities burning, oceans boiling, the core cracking apart. They're waking something bad, he said. That night, Kian returned to the core's chamber. It floated silently, dimmer now. He placed his hand on it. Talk to me. The core pulsed weakly. A fracture has begun. You must recover what was lost, or I will break. The next day, Kian stood before the world's leaders. I know you want to fight. I know you're afraid, but we don't have time for politics. Someone has stolen part of the core. If we don't stop them, Earth will suffer. A woman, President Nakamura of the Pacific Union, stood. I believe him. I propose an alliance not for war, but for protection. Several nations agreed. Others stayed silent. General Hassan of the European Defense League said, if we join forces, we must set rules. Who controls the core? Kian stepped forward. No one does. It's not a weapon, it's a warning. They formed the Unified Core Council, a group of trusted individuals, including Lena, Kian, and Sarian, along with neutral military leaders and scientists from various nations. Their mission: recover the stolen shard, protect the core, and prepare Earth for what was coming. But as the council met for the first time, an unknown ship was detected entering the solar system. No markings, no signal, and it was headed straight for Earth. Back in the core chamber, Kian felt a wave of fear. He placed his hand on the core. What is it? The core answered with only 2 words. The others. The black ship entered Earth's orbit without warning. It made no sound, no signal, no demand. It simply floated, silent as a shadow above the Atlantic Ocean, visible to satellites and soon to the world. People everywhere stopped to watch. News stations broadcast it live. Some prayed, some cheered, some panicked, and in every city, the sky felt just a little heavier inside the core chamber. Kian stared at the screen showing the object. It was shaped like a long blade. Its surface shimmered like liquid metal. No engines, no windows, no windows. Sary frowned. This is not like our ships. Kian placed his hand on the core. Who are they? The core pulsed slowly. Not from before, not from now. They watched the war and waited. Lena stepped forward. Waited for what? For power to return, for weakness to rise. Keon pulled back. Then they think we're weak. No, the Corps replied. They think I am alone. In Geneva, the Unified Corps Council met in full emergency mode. Has the object responded to our messages? President Nakamura asked. A tech officer shook his head. We've sent over 100 signals. No reply. General Hassan leaned in. I don't like this. A ship that quiet isn't lost, it's hunting. Another voice broke through one of the scientists monitoring deep wave frequencies. We picked something up from under the ocean. Everyone turned under the object. Yes, it's not just floating, it's projecting something down. Like a beam. Within hours, a small international team led by Lena Keon and a Navy submarine crew approached the Atlantic site. The sea was calm, but their instruments weren't. Massive power was flowing straight into the water. Keon stood on deck, eyes locked on the dark sky above them. The ship hovered like a silent god. What are they doing? Lena asked. Sarian looked troubled. They're scanning not just the planet, us. Suddenly the sky flashed. A beam of black light shot down from the ship and struck the water. Sea boiled, waves crashed. The submarine was thrown back. Keon held tight to the rail as wind tore across the deck, and then the light vanished. That the sea grew quiet, and rising from the water was a pillar of black crystal back at the Geneva base. Alarms sounded. The core dimmed. Keon gasped and fell to his knees. The core, it's being drained. Sarion helped him up. They planted that crystal to pull its energy. They don't want to destroy the core. Lena stared at the screen. They want to rewrite it. That night, Keon lay in a medical bed recovering. He closed his eyes and the core showed him a vision. Dark planets covered in ash, stars going out one by one, ships that fed on light. He saw the others, not faces but shapes, not beings but shadows. They didn't invade with bombs, they hollowed planets one by one, and now they had come for Earth. The next morning the council met again. We can't stop a ship that big, said one general. Sarian replied. Then don't fight the ship, fight the source. Keon stood, weak but steady. The core said the crystal they planted is the key. We remove it, we break their link. President Nakamura asked, can we destroy it? No, Lena answered. It's too strong. Then, what do we do? Keon looked at her. Then at the core he already knew the answer. I go in. Using a specially modified submersible, Keon, Lena, and Sarian descended into the dark waters under the alien ship. It took less than an hour to reach the crystal. It stood like a tower of pure night, humming with low energy. Around it, the water pulsed, unnaturally glowing in black waves. Keon touched the edge of the subwindow. It's not just pulling the core's power, it's copying it. Sarian nodded. They want to create their own version. Lena leaned closer to the screen. Wait, something's inside it. She magnified the image. A shape moved inside the crystal, a figure. Keon's eyes widened. It's me. Back on the surface, the core flickered again. Words formed inside Keon's mind. The others built a false core. To replace. To deceive. He turned to Lena. They want to steal my voice, my memory, and use it to control the core. Sarian looked tense. Then we must break the mirror. Keon nodded. Open the hatch. In a deep sea suit, Keon stepped out of the sub and floated down toward the crystal. It hummed louder as he approached. The figure inside moved, matching his steps. He raised his hand. So did it. Lena's voice came through the speaker. Be careful. The crystal pulsed. Suddenly a beam struck Keon in the chest, lifting him off the ocean floor. Lena screamed. Keon, but his voice came through calm and strong. I see it now. The false Keon inside the crystal opened its eyes. Red, cold, empty. Keon gritted his teeth. You're not me. He reached for the silver band on his wrist. The real core pulsed from orbit, sensing its link. And then, Keon activated the lock. A burst of white light surged through the crystal. The false Keon screamed, a high sound of metal breaking. The crystal cracked, exploded, and the black ship above shuddered in the sky on the surface. Every screen lit up. The alien ship sent its first message, a single word, we see you. Then it vanished, gone in an instant. No explosion, no debris, only the core's soft light remained. Later, Keon sat on a hospital bed, recovering again. You could have died, Lena whispered, but I didn't. He smiled weakly, because I'm real. Sarian stood beside the core, which now pulsed stronger than ever. They've tested us. Next time, they won't send shadows, they'll come themselves. Keon looked at Earth spinning gently beyond the window. Then we'll be ready. 3 days had passed since the others vanished. No more black crystals, no more strange lights in the sky. But Earth was not at peace. In fact, it was more divided than ever. Inside the Geneva Council base, chaos spread across the control room. Sir, China is demanding full control of the core. India and Brazil just announced they're forming a new tech alliance. Someone leaked the core's energy readings. There's panic in the streets. Every nation now wanted the core for itself. Some feared it. Others wanted to use it. But all of them forgot one thing. The real war hadn't started yet. Keon watched the news feeds in silence. Fires, marches, armed protests, political debates. Lena sat beside him. They think the danger is over. They're Wrong, Keon whispered. The others didn't run, they're watching. Sarian entered, holding a glowing memory crystal. I think it's time you saw this, he said. He handed it to Keon. This was left on Earth 30,000 years ago. They went to the core chamber. The moment the crystal neared the core, the light shifted. Symbols appeared in the air. Words formed in Keon's mind. If you are hearing this, then the core has awakened again, and the others are close. It was a message from a forgotten ancestor of Sarion's kind, a leader, a protector. We tried to destroy them. We failed. We tried to hide the core. We failed again. In the end, we chose to divide the core and bury its halves on 2 planets. Keon's heart pounded. Earth had been chosen. One half shall sleep, on a quiet world, guarded by blood. The other shall drift in silence, guarded by memory. Only when the right one awakens will the core rise again, and when it does, the others will come, and Earth must choose submission or sacrifice. The message ended. The room was silent. Keon turned to Sarian. They chose Earth as a tomb. Sarian nodded slowly. Because your people have heart in chaos. It was the perfect place to hide it. Lena stepped back, so everything we're facing was set in motion thousands of years ago. No, Sarian said. It began even before that. Meanwhile, in a secret base in Eastern Europe, a group of masked scientists stared at a blinking signal on their screens. One of them removed his mask. It was a former general exiled years ago for extremist beliefs. He stared at the data. The others are still out there, he muttered, and Earth is wasting time with councils and politics. He looked at the crystal shards stolen from the core, still glowing though weaker now. Let them wait. We'll make Earth ready our way. Back in Geneva, the council was falling apart. Some members wanted to hand the core over to the UN. Others wanted to destroy it completely. A few even questioned Keon's right to stay connected to it. You're too dangerous, one leader shouted. You've already linked with alien tech. How do we know you're still human? Keon stood calm but strong. Because I still care what happens to this planet. That night Keon sat outside under the stars. Lena joined him. They're scared of you, she said. I know. They'll never agree. I don't care. He looked up. I didn't choose the core, it chose me, but now I choose Earth. Suddenly, a light flashed above them. A message appeared across every global screen. No warning. No origin. Just 5 words. We are not done yet. And then Earth's moon pulsed once. Bright, brief, silent. Lena stared up. Did they just touch the moon? Sarian ran into the room. The core detected something. Under the surface, a signal. A base, Keon asked. Maybe. Or a prison. Lena turned to him. We have to go there. Keon nodded. Then we take the core with us. The next day a mission was approved. A small team, Lena, Sarian, and a few hand-picked soldiers would be launched to the moon aboard a secret lunar shuttle named Aegis 7. The core would remain in orbit on a secure satellite, linked to Keon's silver band. As they boarded the shuttle, the world watched, tense, hopeful, afraid. This time, they weren't sending weapons, they were sending trust. 3 hours later, Aegis 7 landed near the moon's southern pole. The crater was massive and quiet. Until the scanners lit up. There's a structure beneath the surface, the pilot said. Buried deep, not human. Keon stepped out onto the gray surface. The stars above him were still cold. Watching, he placed a hand on the ground and felt SOMETHINGA, pulse, old, faint, familiar. Then the ground cracked. A doorway opened. The team moved carefully into the darkness. Lights flickered on, blue lines along alien walls. Lena whispered, "This is a vault." Sarian stopped. His face went pale. This is not just a base. They reached a central chamber. Floating in the middle was a second core. Smaller, darker, twisted. Keon's single quotes S breath caught. It's not asleep. Suddenly the dark core opened. One eye. Red. Alive. Watching. Keon stood in the heart of the moon vault, face to face with the second core. It hovered in the center of the dark chamber, red and pulsing, not like the gentle light of the true core. This one throbbed like a wound. A voice echoed through his mind, sharp and cold. You are not worthy. Lena held her breath. Sarian raised his arm slowly, energy crackling around his hand. We must not touch it. Keon stepped forward anyway. What are you? The red core's voice sharpened. I am what was broken, what was left behind. Suddenly images flashed across the chamber walls. A memory. No, a replay of the ancient past. 30,000 years ago, the great war between the stars. 2 cores once ruled the galaxy, one of peace, one of power, one to preserve. One to control. When their creators split, one core was hidden on Earth. The other, corrupted by fear, left behind. It was supposed to stay buried, Sarian whispered. But the others, they must have found it, twisted it. Keon's head pounded. The red core whispered directly to him. We are the same, you and I, chosen, alone, abandoned by time. Keon clenched his fists. I'm not like you. The red core surged forward suddenly, sending a shockwave through the room. The soldiers were knocked back. Lights shattered. Dust filled the air. And Keon fell into darkness. Inside his mind, Keon stood in an endless black void. 2 versions of himself faced each other. One glowed with blue light, the memories of his real core, his pain, his compassion. The other, Red, emotionless, cold, powerful. The red figure spoke first. They used you. Like they used me. No, Kian said. I chose this. I chose to protect. The red figure's eyes narrowed. You could rule instead. Command the stars. End weakness. Erase fear. But then I'd become what they feared. The red figure stepped closer. Join with me. Fuse, become whole again, and no one will ever hurt your world. Kian hesitated, then stepped away. I'd rather lose everything than become like you. The void shattered. Back in the chamber, Kian opened his eyes. The red core screamed a terrible, high-pitched sound, not of machines, but of betrayal. It surged toward Kian, trying to merge. Lena shouted, Kian, stop it. Sirion tried to create a shield, but the power was too much. Kian fell to his knees. The red core began to pierce his mind, searching for control. He felt his thoughts spinning, splitting, drowning, and then the silver band on his wrist lit up. The real core, orbiting Earth above, had awakened fully. Its light pierced through the moon's surface like a sword of stars. A single beam of white-blue energy blasted into the chamber, striking the red core directly. The corrupted core shrieked and tried to flee. Kian stood up, shaking, half glowing from within. No more running. He held out both hands. The core in orbit responded. Light filled the chamber. The real core linked with the false one. Two powers met, blue and red. Light and shadow. The moon shook violently. Alarms on Earth triggered. Tides shifted. Scientists screamed into radios. The council watched from Geneva in silence as he stopping it. One asked. No one answered. No one answered. Inside the moon chamber, Kian stood alone in the center of the storm. His body floated. His eyes glowed. Lena tried to reach him. Kian, he didn't hear. The two cores spun around him, faster and faster, locking into a spiral of energy and memory. Ancient languages filled the air. Visions of lost worlds, extinct civilizations, voices from the past. Kian screamed, not in pain, but in power. And then he made his choice. Kian raised both arms. I don't choose control. I don't choose destruction. I choose balance. The red core paused, confused, and the blue core responded. Together, the two cores merged into one sphere. Neither red nor blue. Not peace. Not war. Unity. The light exploded across the moon's surface. From Earth, billions watched the night sky bloom with light. The moon pulsed once, then went still. The black ship of the others, hidden beyond Neptune, began to tremble. Inside, shadowy figures hissed. Their weapon had failed. Their plan ruined. And then a new signal hit them. Stronger, purer, complete, and it said, we are not your prey. Back in the moon chamber, Lena rushed to the center. Kian, he lay on the floor. Still, Sir touched his chest. He's alive. Kian opened his eyes slowly. What happened? He chose for both of them, Lena said, crying. Sarian nodded. You united the memory and the wound. Kian sat up. Then maybe the war is finally over. 2 weeks later, the new core was installed in a floating station above Earth. Nations had stopped fighting, at least for now. The council was reformed, but more importantly, humanity had changed. They now knew the truth. They were not the center of the universe, but they were chosen. Not because they were strong, but because they had heart. Kian sat in a garden, quiet and peaceful. Lena joined him. It feels different now, she said. It is, what do we call it, this new core? Kian thought for a moment, then smiled. Hope.